Listen to me for a moment. Not because I have all the answers, but because right now your mind is noisy, tired, dramatic, and doing that thing where it turns one bad moment into a full-length disaster movie. And before you argue with me, yes, I know you're smiling on the outside or scrolling like everything's normal, but inside you're thinking, I don't know how much longer I can hold it together. Good. That honesty is the doorway. And I'm going to say something so simple it might irritate you. You're going to be okay. Not magically, not instantly, but truly, deeply okay. Now, let's acknowledge the obvious. Things feel heavy. Maybe money is tight. Maybe relationships feel strained. Maybe you're exhausted from being strong when you never volunteered for the job. You wake up tired. You go to bed tired. And in between, you're pretending you're fine because everyone else seems to be managing better than you. Let me stop you right there. That comparison? Trash. Absolute nonsense. You have no idea what battles other people are fighting behind their highlight reels and polite smiles. So, if you've been feeling like you're behind in life, like everyone else got the instruction manual and you got a sticky note that says, "Figure it out, welcome to the human race." Here's the real challenge you're facing. Whether you've named it or not, your mind has been given too much authority. It has become the loudest voice in the room, and frankly, it's not very kind. It keeps replaying the past like a broken record and projecting the future like a low-budget horror film. And the problem with that is simple but serious. What you consistently think, you consistently feel, and what you consistently feel, you eventually live out. This matters because your life does not respond to panic, fear, or self-attack. It responds to expectation, belief, and direction. Let me say this gently but clearly. Your circumstances are not the final authority. Your inner conversation is. And right now, that conversation might sound like, I'm behind, I messed up, I should be further by now, or my personal favorite, what if it never works out? That question alone has kept more people stuck than any external obstacle ever could. Not because it's true, but because it hypnotizes the mind into paralysis. So let's bring a little logic, a little spiritual common sense, and a little humor into this. Your mind is like a very powerful employee who works best with supervision. Left alone, it will overthink, catastrophize, and create imaginary problems just to stay busy. But when directed, it becomes your greatest ally. The framework is simple. Thoughts plant seeds, feelings water them, and actions grow them. You don't get roses by planting weeds and hoping for a miracle. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, great, here comes the just think, positive speech, relax. I'm not asking you to lie to yourself. I'm asking you to stop verbally attacking yourself every day and calling it realism. There's a difference between being honest and being cruel. You can acknowledge that things are hard without declaring that they're hopeless. One statement empowers you, the other drains you. Let's get practical, very practical, not move to the mountains and meditate for 6 hours. Practical. I mean things you can do today, in your current life, with your current mess. First, catch the thought. Don't wrestle it. When a heavy thought shows up, don't panic, and don't try to fight it like you're in a mental boxing match. Just notice it. Ah, there you are again. Awareness alone weakens its grip. You're not the thought. You're the one observing it. That shift is powerful. Second, replace, don't erase. The mind hates a vacuum. If you try to delete a negative thought without offering an alternative, it will simply reinstall itself with updates. So instead of everything is falling apart, try something like, this feels uncomfortable, but I am supported and guided. Is it dramatic? Maybe. Does it work? Absolutely. Because the subconscious doesn't argue, it accepts repetition. Third, shrink the day. Stop trying to solve your entire life before lunch. That's ridiculous. You don't need to fix everything. You need to handle the next right thing. Drink water. Answer one email. Take a short walk. Do something small and doable. Momentum is built on tiny, consistent actions, not grand emotional speeches you give yourself at 2 a.m. Fourth, speak life out loud. Yes, out loud. I know it feels awkward. Do it anyway. Your ears need to hear what your heart is trying to believe. Say things like, I am being carried through this. I am not alone. Things are rearranging for my good. You don't need to feel it yet. Feeling follows faith, not the other way around. Let's also talk about rest, because some of you are exhausted but keep calling it laziness. You are not lazy. You are depleted. There's a difference. Rest is not a reward you earn after suffering enough. It's a requirement for clarity. When you're tired, everything looks worse. Decisions feel heavier. Hope feels unrealistic. So if today all you do is rest your nervous system, congratulations, you did something productive. Now, here's a truth that might sting a little, but I respect you enough to say it. Constantly rehearsing how bad things are is a form of loyalty to the problem. You don't mean to do it. You think you're being cautious or prepared, but all you're really doing is feeding the very thing you want to outgrow. Shift your loyalty. Be loyal to the version of you that's emerging, not the one that's been struggling. You might ask, but what if things don't work out? Let me flip that for you. What if they do? What if this season is shaping you, strengthening you, and quietly positioning you for something better than you can currently imagine? What if the delay is protection? What if the confusion is redirection? You don't need proof to entertain a better possibility. You just need willingness. Here's something simple I want you to try today. Choose one sentence, just one. Something calm, steady, and reassuring. Not dramatic, not forced. Something like, I am safe in this moment, or I am being guided step by step. Repeat it whenever your mind starts spiraling. Think of it as mental first aid. You don't need a full diagnosis. You need stability. And please, stop waiting to feel confident before taking action. Confidence is not the prerequisite, it's the byproduct. You act, and then confidence catches up. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting a long time. Readiness is overrated. Willingness is everything. Let me lighten the mood for a second. If worrying actually worked, you'd be unstoppable by now. Think about it. You've worried enough to earn a doctorate. And yet, here you are, still human, still learning, still standing. That alone should tell you something about your resilience. You've survived every hard day you thought you wouldn't. That's not luck. That's strength. So here's your gentle but firm call to action. Do one small thing differently today, just one. Change the way you speak to yourself. Take one step you've been avoiding. Comment something kind to yourself, even if it feels silly. Interaction creates commitment, and commitment creates change. I'll leave you with this thought, and I want you to sit with it. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are in process. And processes are messy by nature, but they lead somewhere. Stay present. Stay open. Stay kind to yourself. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step. And yes, you're going to be okay. Take a breath with me for a second. Not the dramatic kind you forget halfway through, just a normal, human breath. Inhale. Exhale. See, you're still here. That alone tells me something important. Whatever you're facing has not defeated you. It may have shaken you, annoyed you, humbled you, or exhausted you, but it has not ended you. And that matters more than you realize. Now let's talk about something no one likes to admit on hard days. Sometimes the pain isn't just what's happening around you. Sometimes it's the pressure you put on yourself to have already figured it out. You keep asking, why am I still here? Why hasn't this changed? Why am I like this? And those questions sound innocent, but they quietly accuse you of failure. They imply you've missed something, messed something up, or fallen behind some imaginary timeline that everyone else seems to be following perfectly. Let me be blunt with you. That timeline does not exist. It's a fantasy invented by comparison, social pressure, and a mind that's been scrolling too much. Here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. You're in a season of repatterning. Old beliefs are losing their grip, but new ones haven't fully settled yet. That in-between space feels uncomfortable because it is unfamiliar. The mind prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. At least pain you recognize. At least disappointment you can predict. Growth? on the other hand, feels unstable at first, and the mind hates instability. That's why it tries to pull you back into old stories, even when those stories made you miserable. So when you catch yourself thinking, "Why do I keep going backwards?" Pause. You're not going backwards. You're shedding layers, and shedding is rarely graceful. It's awkward. It's emotional. It's confusing, but it's necessary. You cannot carry yesterday's beliefs into tomorrow's life and expect harmony. Something has to give. Let's make this practical again, because inspiration without application is just entertainment. I want to give you a simple way to interrupt the spiral when it starts gaining speed. I call it the pause and pivot. When you notice your thoughts racing, pause. Literally say, pause. You're not suppressing anything. You're creating space. Then pivot by asking one better question. Not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is required of me right now?" That question shifts you from victim to participant. It returns your power. Another thing you need to hear, especially if you've been feeling emotionally fragile. Feeling deeply does not mean you are weak. It means you are alive. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being affected by life was a flaw. It's not. Numbness is not strength. Detachment is not wisdom. Sensitivity, when guided, is insight. The goal is not to feel less. It's to feel without drowning. Now let's talk about faith, not as a religious performance, but as an inner posture. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is choosing trust when proof hasn't arrived yet. It's saying, "I don't see the full picture, but I refuse to assume the worst." That choice alone changes your nervous system. It calms the body. It steadies the mind. And a calm mind makes better decisions than a panicked one every single time. You also need to stop underestimating the power of consistency. You don't need a breakthrough. You need rhythm. Small daily alignments compound faster than emotional promises you make when you're overwhelmed. A few kind words to yourself each morning. A few minutes of stillness. A deliberate decision not to spiral when something goes wrong. These things feel insignificant until one day you realize you're no longer where you used to be. And let's be honest for a moment. Some of you are grieving versions of life you thought you'd have by now. You're mourning timelines, relationships, opportunities, or identities that didn't unfold the way you imagined. That grief is valid. Don't rush it. Don't shame it. But don't build a permanent home there either. Honor what didn't happen, then gently turn toward what still can. Here's something humorous, but painfully true. Your future is not ignoring you. It's waiting for you to stop arguing with the present. The more you resist where you are, the heavier it feels. Acceptance is not surrender, it's alignment. When you stop fighting reality, you gain the clarity to change it. Let's do a quick mental exercise together. Imagine speaking to a friend the way you speak to yourself on hard days. Would that friendship survive? Would they feel supported or crushed? Now flip it. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love who's struggling. Encouragement does not make you complacent. It makes you resilient. I want to address something important before we close, especially if you've been feeling alone. You are not meant to carry everything by yourself. Independence is admirable, but isolation is exhausting. Reach out, comment, speak, ask. Being supported does not make you incapable. It makes you human. Even the strongest structures rely on multiple points of support. Now here's your invitation to act. Not tomorrow, not when you feel better. Now, choose one thought you've been repeating that doesn't serve you and replace it deliberately today. Just one. And if this message resonated with you, say so. Interaction is not just engagement, it's declaration. It tells your subconscious, I'm choosing something different. As we come to the end of this moment together, I want you to remember this, above all else. You are not failing at life. You are learning it. You are not lost. You are becoming. And this hard day, as heavy as it feels, is not the final chapter. It's a paragraph, maybe even a sentence. Keep going. Stay open. Stay gentle with yourself. If you've found comfort or clarity here, stay connected. Return when you need steady words. Share your thoughts. Let this be a space where you remind yourself, again and again, that even on the hardest days, you are held, guided, and yes, you are going to be okay.